Look at unequal sharing and grouping. So we'll take a look at this. So read that and try it.
Share 6 sweets between 2 people so that one person gets twice as many as the other. Shared in the ratio of 1:2.
Do you know how to do that?
No, I don't.
So it means that for every 1 sweet the first person gets, the second person gets 2 sweets.
Okay.
So they would get 1, they would get 2.
Okay.
And so that's how you kind of go about it. And so shared in the ratio. Okay, so how would you write that? Oh, so you just have it as a picture, same thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think, so I'll do this a slightly different way. The way I might do it is I would turn it into a fraction. So if one person gets 1 for every 2, in total they're getting 1/3 and they're getting 2/3.
Okay.
Because 1 plus 2 makes 3. So that's the number that goes on the bottom.
Okay.
And yes, I'll do it that way. Oh, hang on. So that is 1/3 and 2/3. What is 1/3 of 6?
1/3 of 6. That is 3.
And 2/3 of 6?
2/3.
Hang on. 1/3 of 6 isn't 3.
Wait. So 1/3 of 6 is 3.
No, that's half of 6.
No. 1/3 is 18. No.
Is 6 divided by 3.
That's 2.
Yeah. And then 2/3 of 6?
That is 6 divided by 2. Wait, no, it can't be 2. Like 4.
Yes. And so 1 is to 2 is the same as 2 is to 4, a bit like fractions. So they get 2 sweets, the other person gets 4 sweets.
Okay.
So let's practice that. This one.
Okay. 16 grapes are shared between 2 plates in the ratio of 1:3. How many grapes are there on each plate? So, I think it means that like every one person gets 1 sweet and another person gets 3.
Yeah. And what would these be as fractions?
As a fraction, that would be 1/3. No, 1/16.
So 1 plus 3?
4.
So that would be 1/4.
Okay. Oh, I see now.
And then the other one?
The other one, 3/4.
Yes. Okay, so how many grapes go on each plate?
3. No. No, yeah. No, 3.
So there's 16 grapes in total. 1/4 go on one plate, 3/4 go on the other plate.
So 1/4 goes on one plate, 3/4 on the other plate. So 4 on each plate.
So the first plate gets 4 grapes. Second plate?
3 grapes.
3/4 of 16?
4.
3/4 times 16. How'd you do that?
Use, well, it's 16 divided by 4.
Mm-hmm.
And that is 4.
Mm-hmm.
So 3/4 of 16 is 4.
1/4 of 16 is 4. 3/4.
Oh yeah. 3/4 is 12.
Well done. And that is 12. So 4 grapes are on the first plate, 12 grapes are on the second plate. And do they add up to 16?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, so I think turn it into fractions. So if they get 1 for every 3, then that is 1/4 and 3/4.
Okay.
And so 1/4 of 16 and 3/4 of 16.
Okay.
Any questions about that?
Nope, I don't have any.
Okay. That's 4, that's 12. Okay, let's try question 1. It's not easy.
Okay. Sam shares 50 sweets with his sister in the ratio of 2 to 3. He gives his sister the smaller amount. How many sweets does he keep for himself? So there's 50 sweets. So we need to find out 2/3 of 50.
Not 2/3. What would they be as ratios? As fractions?
5.
Yeah. So 2/5.
2/5 and 3/5.
Yeah.
And so then we need to work out 2/5 of 50,
Mm-hmm.
which is 10.
So that's 1/5.
So 1/5 is 10. 2/5 is 20.
Mm-hmm.
And so 3/5 must be 40.
No.
No. No, not 30.
Yes. Well done. Let me just see. How many sweets does he keep for himself? So which one was Sam, the 20 or the 30?
The 30.
Oh, he gives his sister the smaller amount. Yeah. So he keeps 30 for himself. Okay. Question 2.
Okay. After 10 weeks, Jack and Thomas have received a total of £40 in pocket money. Thomas gets £3 for every £1 that Jack gets. How much pocket money have they each received? So I guess the ratio is 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to find out 4 tenths, no, not 10, no, 1/4 of 40.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to work out 3/4 of 40 and 1/4 of 40. So 1/4 of 40 is 10.
Mm-hmm.
And so 3/4 of 40 must be 30.
And so how much pocket money do they each receive?
Thomas received £30 and Jack received £10.
Jack, £10. Any questions there?
No, I don't have any.
So you're doing well. Let's see. I think you'll be okay for that one. Let's see this one. Okay, we could do that. I just want to see something else. Yeah. I'll take a look at this in 1 second. That one's not too bad. So I think this is the one to do.
Okay. £160 is shared among 2 people using the ratio 3 to 5. How much money do they get each? We need to find we need to find out 1/7 of 100.
It's not a seventh. You have 3 and 5.
No, it's 8, not 7. So we need to find out 1/8 of 160.
Okay.
And so 160 divided by 8 is 20. No, wait. Yeah, 20. And so 3/8 must be 60.
Yes. 60. How much do each person get?
£60.
So one person gets 60.
We then need to work out 5/8 of 160. So 160 divided by 8 is 20. 5/8 of 160 is 100.
And so how much money does each get?
One of them gets £60 and one of them gets £100.
That's it. Any questions there?
No, I don't have any.
Okay, I think you're good. Unequal sharing and grouping?
Maybe nearly there.
Okay, I think you're better at it than you think. Ratio problems. Okay, how about this?
Okay. A market stall sells cheese by the kilogram. So 1 kilogram costs £6.70. How much does 500 grams cost? And how much does 2 kilograms cost? So it says the sign says that 1 kilogram costs £6.70. So to work out the cost of 2 kilograms, I think we need to double £6.70. So £6.70 at £6.70 is £13.40. And so that's the cost of 2 kilograms. And to work out the price of 500 grams, I think we need to halve £6.70.
Yep.
And so half of £6.70 is it's 3 and 3 and 35.
Yes. Any questions there?
Nope, I don't have any.
Okay. 1340, 335. Okay, how about this one?
Okay. Strawberries cost £3 for 400 grams. How much does 1.2 kilograms of strawberries cost? So, first of all, I think it's best that we work out what 1 kilogram costs. And so, we would need to we would need to add add 7 onto 3.
So there might be an easier way. Is there anything you could multiply? So this 1.2 kilos, how many grams is that?
How many grams? That is 1,200 grams.
And so is there anything you could multiply 400 by to give you 1,200?
Well, I guess you could multiply it by 3.
And so that might be easier.
Okay. So 400 times 3 is 1,200. So now we need to now we need to 400 times 3. So we need to hang on. 3, 6. Wait, so if strawberries are sold if strawberries cost £3 for 400 grams, then that means that strawberries cost 12. No, not 12. 12 pounds.
So 400 grams cost £3.
Yes.
There's 400 grams in 1,200 grams.
Yes.
And so what would you have to do to get the price of 1,200 grams?
You need to divide it by 3. No. Divide it by 400.
So when we did that, we got 3. Like it's basically times by 3.
Yes.
And so it's basically triple the weight. And so how would you get the price?
You would triple 3.
Yep.
And that's 9.
That's it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So you divide the new weight by the old weight, and then times the price by the answer.
Okay.
So that's £9. Okay. Let's see. How would we do question 1?
So question 1. In the supermarket, rice is £2 for 1 kilogram. How much would 5 kilograms cost? Now I think for this one, how much rice did you want? Well, for the first question, which is how much would 5 kilograms cost, I think you need to times 2 by 5.
Yep.
To make £10.
That's it. That's why it's 2 times £5. How many by boys and how many girls? So that's very similar. Okay, question 5, 6, 7, 8. I think you're going to be okay for question 2. Okay, let's try this question 1. Yeah, let's try this.
Okay. So, fudge is made with butter, milk, and sugar in the following ratios: butter to sugar 2:9, and butter to milk 2:3. Complete the table to show how much of each ingredient would be needed to make the following amounts of fudge. So, we have a table which tells us how much of each ingredient would we need to make a certain amount of fudge. So for the ratios, it's 2:9 and 2:3, and so we would need to find out 1/11 of
So that's butter is to sugar. The following ratios. Okay. So maybe you might not need to. So you can see here, butter and sugar for these.
Yes.
100 grams of butter is 450 grams of sugar. So 1,000 grams of butter.
1,000 grams of butter. That would be that would be 1,000.
No.
No.
So 100 grams of butter
Okay.
equals 450 grams of sugar.
Okay.
1,000 grams of butter. So what did they do to go from 100 to 1,000?
They times it by 10.
Yeah. And so could you use that to get the sugar?
Well, you could times 450 by 10,
Yeah.
and that would be 4,500 grams.
Well done. So that's going to be 4,500. Okay. Any other blank we can fill in there?
I think we could fill in some others. So for the milk in for the butter in grams, there's 100 grams and 1,000 grams, which is basically a kilogram. So I think between them you would need 500 grams.
For which one?
The butter in grams between the 1,000 and 100.
And I'm not sure if it works that way. Let's get the milk for the top one.
Okay.
So how do we get the milk?
Well, what we did earlier is that we times 450 by 10.
Mm-hmm.
this is the milk we're talking about, and this is in milliliters and not grams. So we would need to divide 300 by 10.
So I have a few different ways of doing this.
So the ratio for butter to milk is 2 to 3.
Yeah.
So we would need to work out 2/5 of 300.
So basically 3/5. So 2/5 is 100.
Yes.
So 2/5 are equal to 100. So we need 3/5.
Yes.
What would be 1/5?
1/5 would be 50.
And so 3/5?
150.
Yes. So that will be 150. Okay. So let's say doing that in reverse, we have 300. How can we get the 100?
We can.
Or how can we get the butter, sorry?
The butter, so 100 grams. You can take away, well, I was going to say take away 200, but...
So you never add or subtract with ratio and proportion, it's only times or divide. So this one is the milk. So what fraction is the 300?
3/5.
Yeah, so 3/5 is 300. We need to get the butter.
So that would be the butter, that would be 2/5.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the same as 100.
What is 1/5?
That is 1/5. That is 50.
1/5 of 300?
1/5 of 300 is... that is 50.
So it would be 300 divided by 5?
It's 40.
How many 5s in 30?
6.
And so how many 5s in 300?
60.
Yeah. So that's 1/5. And so how do we get the butter?
You get the butter by not adding on. You get the butter by you get the...
Sorry, that's for 1/5 you would divide by 3.
Oh, I see. Oh, so 300 divided by 3. That is 100.
Yeah.
And so 2/5 is 200.
Yes. And so the butter is?
200 grams.
Yep. And then we need the sugar in the middle.
sugar in the middle. So we need to work out two 2/11 of 450.
Well,
No.
can you do it just by comparison? So 100 butter is 450 sugar, so 200 butter.
550 sugar.
Comparison from 100 to 200.
The comparison is 100 different.
And so what, you can only use multiplying or dividing?
So you times the 100 by 2.
Mm-hmm.
So 450 times 2
Mm-hmm.
is 900.
Well done. So that is 900, and I think that's probably the easiest method to do these. Now that we have that, so let's say the 225 on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
What is that in relation to the numbers that have come before it? Is there any number that you could just multiply or divide by something to get 225?
Well, you could times 225 by 2 to get 450.
Okay, so how could you use that to figure out the butter?
You could do 200 times 2. No, you do 225. Wait, divide.
Or to look at it the other way, for 450, you'd have to divide that by 2 to get 225.
Yes.
And so 450 matches with 100 grams of butter.
450 matches with 100 grams of butter. By
Hang on, it's just so let's make it a fresh one here. So this one here you divide by 2.
Yes.
And so how can you get its amount of butter?
You divide 100 by 2.
Yeah.
And that is 50.
Yes. So that's 50. So any other things we can match up here? So let's say this one down here.
Okay.
So that's butter went from 100 to 1,000. Any idea how to get milk?
You times 150 by 10.
Yeah.
And that gives you an answer of 1,500.
And then this one. So we got the 50 by doing half of 100. How could we get the milk?
You do a half of 150.
Yeah.
And that is 50. 60. No, 75.
Well done. Yeah, so actually these ratios up here, it's easier to not use them.
Okay.
It's easier to just go with the table by comparison.
Okay.
So that's half the size, so you half it. That's 10 times the size, so you times it by 10 and so on.
Okay.
Any questions there?
No, I don't have any.
Okay. So let's see if we can use that easier one for these. So
Okay.
before I do that, so these ratio ones come up a lot, and I think you're okay for those. Okay, so let's see. Can we use any comparison thing to do these?
Okay. So these are the ingredients needed to make 150 milliliters bottle of vanilla shower gel, 120 grams of liquid soap, 25 grams of vegetable glycerine, and 5 grams of vanilla extract. So Emma has 80 grams of liquid soap. How many milliliters of shower gel can she make? So she can. So I think we need to work out the difference between 80 and 120.
So not the difference. If you're going to do that, you'd do it by dividing. So
Wait.
let's say as a fraction, 120. Maybe I'll put it the other way around. So 80 over 120.
Okay.
Can you simplify that?
We can simplify it by 10.
Yeah, so that's the same as 8 over 12.
Yeah. You can also simplify it by 20 as well.
Okay.
So 80 divided by 20 is 4. And so 120 divided by 20 is 7.
So now that you've made it a bit simpler, you could just half both of them.
Oh yes, so half 12 is 6.
Yeah, so that other one wasn't 7, it was 6. Okay, can you make it even simpler?
You can half them both again. And so 4 6 halved is 2/3.
Okay, so 80 is 2/3 of 120. You have to figure out how many milliliters of shower gel she can make.
Okay. So in milliliters, we need to work out 2/3 of 150.
Well done.
And so 2/3 of 150 is 50.
So that's 1/3.
Oh, so 2/3 is 100.
Well done. Here's 100 milliliters. So she can make 100 milliliters of shower gel. Part B.
Okay. Aaron has 300 grams of liquid soap, 65 grams of glycerine, and 15 grams of vanilla extract. How many full bottles of shower gel can he make? So we need to I think we need to write down 120 over 300.
Let's see. I think, let's say this, we'll do it the other way around. We'll do 300 over 120 and see how many 120s are in 300.
Okay. So 120 goes into 300. 2 times. And so 300 divided by 2.
So actually,
Wait.
it'll go in twice and with some remainder. So
Okay.
how many full bottles could they make?
2.
So that's 2 full bottles. Is there any other one that could make more or less? So that was the liquid soap.
Yes. 65 grams of glycerine. You need at least 25 grams of vegetable glycerine. So we need to um, do. We need to write down 65 over 25.
Mm-hmm.
And then work out how many times 25 goes into 65.
Mm-hmm.
And so 25 goes into 65. 4 times.
I don't think so.
Wait, hang on. 15, 25. And then, well, I think it, hang on. Oh, no, sorry. 25, 50.
Mm-hmm.
It goes into it, twice.
Mm-hmm. And then with some remainder.
Yes. So,
Okay, go on.
so you can make, 2 bottles with 65 grams of glycerine.
So that's 2 full bottles. And then the last one?
15 grams of vanilla extract. We need to write down 15 over 5 and then work out how many times 5 goes into 15.
Mm-hmm.
And that is 3 times with no remainder.
Okay. So with the last ingredient, they can make 3 full bottles. With the other 2, they can make 2 full bottles. And so how many full bottles can they make with the ingredients they have?
7.
No. So they'd use up all the ingredients as they go.
Okay.
So they can either make 2 full bottles or 3 full bottles with the ingredients.
Okay.
Any idea which one?
3 bottles.
So they don't have enough for 3 bottles with the other 2.
So 2 bottles.
And so the final answer, would be 2 full bottles. Because they have enough for 3 bottles with only one of the ingredients.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So if even one ingredient had only enough for 1 bottle, then the final answer would just be 1 bottle. Any questions there?
Nope, I don't have any.
Okay. So then the ratio one, I think you're good at. So ratio problems.
Maybe between nearly there and nailed it.
Okay, and I'm just gonna give you the test. I want to give you this hardest of them all. So let's try this one.
Oh, okay. 2 people share £4,800 in the ratio of 2 to 3. How much do they get each? So we need to work out 2/5 of 4,800.
Yep.
And so we need to do 4,800 divided by 5, which is
You probably just have to.
I think we might need to use a stop. 5 goes into 4 0 times.
Mm-hmm.
with 4 left over. And then 5 goes into 48 9 times with 3 left over.
And 3.
Wait,
Oh yeah, 3. Yeah, 3.
yeah, 3. And then 5 goes into 36 times. And then 5 goes into 0 times.
Mm-hmm.
So we get an answer of 960.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 1/5. So that's 1/5 of 4,800. But we need to work out 2/5, so we need to double 960.
Mm-hmm.
And so double 960 is 1,920.
So 1,920, yes. So 2/5 is 1,920. And so how would you get the other one?
You would get the other one by dividing 4,800 by 2.
An easier way might be, you don't really have to add up to 4,800.
Yes.
So because we already have one, how would you get the other?
Because you already have one, you would divide 1,920 by 2.
Well, it's not half.
No.
So one is 1,920. How can we get the other number that will add up to 4,800?
And you work out 2/5 of 1,920.
So we got 2/5. Okay, we could get 3/5 then the other way. So 1/5 is 960. So how do you get 3/5?
You double 1,920.
That would give you 4/5.
No. To get 3/5, you would
How did you get 2/5?
well, I doubled 960.
Yeah, so you did 960 times 2. And so how would you get 3/5?
You would triple 960.
Yep.
So 960 tripled is 2,800. 2,000.
Yeah.
2,880.
That's it. And if we add those two together, yep, we get 4,800. So I was just thinking, once you have one answer, you could just do 4,800, take away the first answer, we'll give you the second answer.
Okay.
Or you can just get them, you times one by 2, you can times the other by 3.
Okay.
So I just want to take a look at these. So there are so many of these ratio ones, and you're pretty good at those. So this is a ratio one, 35, yeah, 2/5 and 3/5. But you're so good at those that I think the main thing is just the harder ones are the bigger numbers. So again, 2/5 and 3/5 of 15. Let's see. Yep. So that's 3 is to 5 for 32. And so I think this is the hardest one. And that the way to do this is to just, you can notice that's times by 10. So you times that by 10. This is half, so you half this. And